Ha ha! Ladies and gentlemen, your boy Deluxe Man brings you his review on NXT Takeover Unstoppable, their second NXT special pay-per-view live event special, wherever you just like all the others. Par course, status quo for NXT, it was another great, excellent, overall awesome wrestling show. As always, need to let my fans get in. So down below, as you guys are coming in, tell me in the comments how you felt about this show. Everything. Favorite match, favorite moment, favorite wrestler, just overall thoughts on the show, because I have to think overall this show has to get a positive review from my fans. You know what? It is my opinion. So in my personal opinion, whether you agree with it or not, I felt this was the best show in terms of wrestling this year. You know, I felt it was better than WrestleMania. That is my opinion. I don't think WrestleMania was good. Okay? It was good. And I will give it that credit. And this is just my opinion from my perspective. I enjoyed this show a lot more than WrestleMania, than Payback, than any other pay-per-view from the WWE. This was a great show. This was an amazing, amazing show all around, man. Every match was solid. Not one bad match. And even the worst match on the card wasn't really all that bad. And of course, that's going to go to Rhyno and Baron Corbin, and I'll talk about that when I get to it. But even that match, I didn't hate it. I actually thought it was good. I actually thought it was passable. Yeah, we'll get into the details of it as we get into the review. And I think I have given you guys enough time to come in. So those of you just coming in, again, let me know down below how you felt about the show. But let's get started. We kick off the show with the #1 contendership match. Initially, it was supposed to be a triple threat involving Balor, Hideo Itami, and Tyler Breeze. Unfortunately, Hideo Itami got injured, and they did a storyline to explain why he was not in the match. Apparently, we're doing one of those, someone attacked Hideo Itami, and we don't know who, and we don't know why. We've seen this many times before. It's a very classic storyline, and a great way to bring him back, because he can come back and, play whodunit, like Stone Cold Steve Austin did in 2000, like HBK did in 2002, like many other wrestlers have done. And I think it's a great way to bring him back. It can be anybody. For all we know, it might be so. Oh, nope, not gonna talk about him yet. We'll get into that in a second. But it is a great storyline to, send him away, to explain why he's gonna be away for a while, because I hear he's gonna be away for 6 to 8 months. And that's gonna be a big loss. Well, I thought it was gonna be a big loss, but when we found out who came in today, I think we're fine. I think we are fine, ladies and gentlemen. But I do wish Hideo a speedy recovery. I hope getting into the first match, it is now a singles match between Tyler Breeze and Finn Balor. So I think it's safe to say that these two, first off, their entrances, both of them had really cool entrances. Tyler Breeze did like some kind of a model superstar runway, America's Next Top Model kind of entrance. Had his whole phone. He didn't have the selfie stick this time. Disappointment. But he had his whole entrance, but he had models come after him. The stage lit up for him. He walked down. It was a nice entrance. And then Finn Balor's entrance. Oh my God, man. I love how every single time we see the Demon, there's always something new added to his gear, his look. This time, he had wings and spikes. Every single time we see the Demon, it grows and grows and grows and becomes more vicious and more monstrous. And I love that. I actually really, really dig that. And if I'm not mistaken, Finn Balor has not lost a match as the Demon. I'm going to say yes. He has not lost one match as the Demon. Granted, this is only his third match as the Demon. Here is anytime Finn Balor wrestles as the Demon, that's a guaranteed win, and that is his ultimate form. And as the Demon, he can't be beat. And I actually like that. And this match illustrated that. This was a really good match. It was a fun match. Great back and forth all around. The spots in this match. I love the near falls. I love the near fall of, Tyler Breeze taking off the turnbuckle, exposing the steel turnbuckle. And there was a spot where Finn Balor hit the turnbuckle and then he hit the beauty shot. And I'm thinking, well, that's it. That has to be it. And then he kicks out. That was a really nice near fall spot. And I was like, whoa, you got me. And I just love how Tyler Breeze does his temper tantrums. Like when he really gets close to having you and he just goes crazy like Christian did back in the day. It really adds to that match, man. But the spot of the match was Finn Balor jumping off the stage onto Tyler Breeze. You guys gotta see it. You guys have to see it for yourselves to see how fun and awesome this match was. And as good as the match was, the entrances outshined it. The entrances were so good, that's all I could think about while watching the match. Even during the spot where when he jumped off the stage, I kind of forgot about it then. But before that spot, throughout the majority of the match, I was going, man, those entrances were awesome. These entrances alone put the main roster to shame. And think about this, guys. This is WWE. Look, NXT might be its own separate brand from Raw and SmackDown, but this is still WWE. And to get this from WWE and to see what we get on a normal basis on Raw and SmackDown, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Good match. Finn Balor wins, and he is now, once again, the new #1 contender. So we'll see what happens with that one. Moving on to the second match, I believe, is the female tag team match, the women's tag team match. Dana Brooke and Emma versus Bayley and Charlotte. Now, you know what? I actually didn't really go into this match thinking it would, really impress me all that much. I thought it was going to be a solid match and it was going to be quick and easy. I think I enjoyed this match a little too much because I don't know what it is, man. Seeing Dana Brooke first off, yes, she is green, okay? She's hot, but you know what? You can just tell she's trying. Obviously, she's a pet project. I think they know she's green. I think they know she might be on NXT a little too soon before she should be. But for the most part, I'm not really despising what I'm seeing. She could work on her in-ring work a little bit. But other than that, I think she's fine. Emma is still trying to find her heel gimmick. Hopefully she finds it soon. I want her to shed this quirky, bubbly, dancing buffoon gimmick altogether. I say dye her hair and go full Molly Holly with her. Maybe not chop off her hair, but give her a different look altogether. Give her a different personality and go in a different direction with her. And I promise you, I think Emma will really take off when they do that. But of course, the stars of the match were Bayley and Charlotte. Man, I get a kick out of every match these two are in. I just love Charlotte and Bayley. I particularly love Bayley, but Charlotte is awesome. Charlotte did an awesome double. Into the match, there was this awesome sequence where Charlotte locks in her figure 8, not the figure 4, the figure 8, because she does a bridge with the figure 4 and it doubles the pain, and it's really awesome. And as Dana comes in to make the save, Bayley slides under Charlotte while she was, and then Charlotte breaks the hold and hits the natural selection. That's her running front flip DDT. No, not a DDT. It's a cutter, whatever. DDT cutter, whatever you want to call it. Running front flip, I'm going with cutter. Let's go with that. But she hits the natural selection, and man, it was a fun match. I really enjoyed it. I can't really hate that. I hope Bayley is in line to fight Sasha next. Ooh, when I get to Sasha and Becky Lynch, ooh. Can't wait for that one. Okay, let's get this one out the way really quickly. We have Baron Corbin versus Rhyno. Easily the weakest match on the show, but still pretty solid. You know, I'm not going to say it was a 5-star classic. Even the commentators before the match started said, this will not be a technical masterpiece. They even told you up front what to expect from this match. And you know what? It didn't need to be. Sometimes you don't need to be a Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle, or, you know, a Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, or a Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, or Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect. No, you don't need to be that. Sometimes it depends on who's inside the ring. What we had were two dominant wrestlers fighting each other. And that is exactly what it needed to be. And, you know, it didn't go on too long. It might have gone on a little too long if it went 2 more minutes longer than it did. I didn't hate it. You know what, man? First off, Rhyno is awesome. Rhyno feels like Rhyno. When he first came back, he still, okay, this is an old guy from ECW vibe to him. But as time went by, that just went away, and I saw him as the man beast, Rhyno from ECW. And that is who fought Baron Corbin tonight. And you know what? Yes, Baron Corbin, like Dana Brooke, he's also green. The reason why Baron Corbin is, well, as good or looks as good as they're building him up as a dominant wrestler who, when he hits you or he does a move to you, it hurts twice as much more because he's freaking OP. He's freaking OP. That's all I gotta say. OP means overpowered. Those of you who don't know what that means. But yeah, man, this guy, give him a chance. Well, I'm not going to tell you to give him a chance. What I am saying is I think fans should give him a shot. Let him grow a little bit more. There were some clunky moments in this match. Not that many. I mean, he had a lot more when he was fighting Bull Dempsey. Like, that's for sure. But in this match, I think he had like 1 or 2 clunky moments that were just like, okay, whatever. Other than that, it was a fine, solid match. I like the end. Rhyno went for the gore, and he hit A's and beat some. Clean. 1, 2, 3. Cool with me. You know, I think when you bring in people like Rhyno to put people over, that I think is the best role for him. And you know what? If we're going to bring in more than other talent, go right ahead. As it puts them over. That's all I'm going to say. So, you know what? Before I get into the rest of the card, let me read your comments. I want to see who is in here. And, of course, if I read your comments, I will give you a shout-out. I promise you. I don't just read comments and not give people shout-outs. So, and this is something that I'm doing as I do my reviews. Midway through my reviews from now on, I might just stop and take a look at your comments to see who's here. And, you know, interact with you guys a little bit. For the most part, everybody enjoyed the show. Jack from Dexter, it was great, and I'm already hyped for the next one, and it's months away. Kevin Owens should have killed Sami. He most likely did, dude. Jesus Christ. Philip the Big One. That's it. I'm officially a full-blown mark for the NXT women. Jay Hennix, stare down between Joe. Oh, Jesus Christ. You made me spoil it. Well, you guys read the title anyways. You know what it is. Stare down at the end of the show was too real. I hope to see them clash for the first time. And you know what? When that match happens, man, it's going to sell out. They have a match right now that literally would most likely get them more subscribers for the sake of it being the first time ever they've wrestled. Right? I don't think Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, even as Kevin Steen, have ever touched. This will be a first time ever. Holy crap. One more, then I'll get into the rest of the card. Fullerton. This show was awesome. Every match was solid. What's his name? NXT is great as well. We should actually have an NXT Championship match inside the Elimination Chamber. Just a thought. We could. All right, let's move on, guys, to the next match. The Tag Team Championships, if I'm not mistaken. Before I get into that, let's talk about Mr. Yen. because before the match, they did like a camera pan of all the newer signed talent for NXT. It came to Yuha Nation, and the crowd went nuts. They lost their minds. And you know what? I'm excited for him. I've only seen I've actually seen one match, but I've seen parts of a second match of what he can do inside NXT. He's young. He's hungry. Let's see what he can do, man. So Yuha Nation, I hope he does well. NXT Tag Team Championship match. Enzo Amore is Blake and Murphy. Very fun tag team match. Man, you know what? Enzo and Big Cass, they might be too good for the main roster. I almost fear that just because they are over, and they will be over when they get to the main roster, the WWE will pull an Uso on them. In other words, it might overexpose them just because they're awesome. And fans might get tired of them because, you know, they'll be exposed way too much. Enzo and Big Cass is a tag team that flourishes in this type of environment where we only have 1 hour shows and we only have 4 pay-per-views, 4 specials each year, because that's how they maintain their momentum. That's how they maintain how special they are. You know, when they're on TV constantly, I'm almost scared that might wear them out. Going out right now, clearly they are hot. And based off of what happened in this match, I think we might get a rematch, and they'll be hot when they have their rematch. But Blake and Murphy defend their championships against Big Cass and Enzo. I like how OP Big Cass was in this match. Obviously, he's like, you know, he's like that big Hulk figure to Enzo's little guy, Banner, you know, Bruce Banner personality. You know, when, of course, he can fight, he can defend himself, but anytime Big Cass gets inside the ring, it's Dom, kills everybody. And I like that dynamic. I've always enjoyed that dynamic, but before this match, it was always Enzo gets beat up and Big Cass is the one that's the offense. Now it's more like, okay, this guy can defend himself, but when Big Cass gets inside the ring, it's completely over. And I like that dynamic with them. So these guys are over. The ending where we had Miss Alexa Bliss come out. And, you know, they've been teasing that Carmella would be the one to screw over Big Cass and Enzo. No, it wasn't Carmella. As a matter of fact, she was completely behind him. And by the way, the crowd finally accepted Carmella. I'm happy that they finally just said, you know what? You're cool. We like you. Welcome to the bunch. So they finally accepted her. But Alexa Bliss went out there and pretty much pushed Enzo off the top rope, getting ready to beat Blake and Murphy. And Blake and Murphy pin Enzo, and they run away. They scurry away with the tag team championships. But Alexa Bliss has now turned heel, and she is now their manager. Did not see that coming at all. They've been teasing Carmella, and they blindsided us with Alexa Bliss. So, you know what? I didn't really think she was going to go anywhere as I don't know what she was, a fairy? A cheerleader / fairy wrestler? I mean, I liked her, but she wasn't really going to go anywhere. I think as a heel, she might actually become. And then we got what is, in my opinion, not just one of the best female matches of the year so far. And that goes without saying. I'm done doing that, guys. I am done doing this thing where I have to classify female wrestling matches, put them on a different standard from the men. I'm done doing that, okay? NXT Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks was not just the best female match in wrestling today. It has to be one of the best matches of 2015, period. And you know what? I've seen that very often with the NXT female wrestlers. See Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, who has really grown on me. When these four women get inside the ring, they put the main roster to shame. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, in this very match, put the entire main roster to shame this year. And the only match that I can think of that topped this match, you can argue, has to be Seth Rollins versus John Cena versus Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble. That, to me, might be the only match that I know that rivaled this. This match was that good. First off, Becky Lynch, love her new look, love her new attitude, love her new energy, love her entrance. She has gone a full makeover, and I feel like now she's found herself. You know, she went through this phase where she was an Irish wrestler who did a jig, meh. And then she started to grow a little bit, punk rock kind of girl. Was getting there. And now I feel like she's reached her pinnacle. She's reached her new look. It's original and it's not forced. I mean, she's doing the punk rock stuff, but it's not as forced. It's original, and I really, really like it. And Sasha Banks, she's a boss. Sasha is a boss, man. When Sasha turns it on, she turns it on. And I think for sure, next to Charlotte, she might actually be on par with Charlotte, the best female wrestler in WWE. Those two are neck and neck for the best female wrestler in WWE. And in terms of Natalya, I mean, she might even be surpassed right now. And I love Natty. And I would defend Natty to the freaking earth of being the best female wrestler in WWE. But I think Sasha might have just overtaken her. I mean, let's talk about the match, man. Oh my God, what do I talk about? Freaking Becky Lynch ate the freaking apron when Sasha did like an arm drag to her. And then I love how technical and submissive savvy both of these women were. Lots of crazy submission spots. And it was high energy from beginning to end. It was just all over the place. Just an awesome match. I especially loved the ending because we have Sasha Banks working on the arm of Becky Lynch throughout the match. A lot of near falls too. Becky Lynch tossing her with that amazing T-bone suplex, and then actually finally getting in the freaking arm bar in an awesome sequence, by the way. And then at the end of the match, because she's been working on her arm, Becky climbs to the top, rope arm breaker, and then locks in her crossface, the big statement, and then makes her tap. And that crowd went nuts. At first, the crowd I felt was kind of too hard, was kind of hard on Becky Lynch, because even I was just, come on, guys. Why are you guys so hard on her? I know you like Sasha Banks, and that's fine. I'm not even saying they can't be this way. By the way, guys, this is my opinion. I'm not saying you shouldn't like Sasha Banks. I'm not even saying you should like Becky Lynch. In my personal opinion, I felt like they were way too hard on her, but it doesn't matter anyways, because at the end of the match, when Sasha walks out with the championship, the crowd gave Becky Lynch a standing ovation and sung her theme song. Man, I'm telling you, when WWE brings up Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte, whether it's one at a time or all together, actually, things are going to change. I really do feel like the Divas division, female wrestling in WWE period, is about to hit a whole new level. And some of you might be thinking, well, Alex, man, I don't know, man. They won't get as much time on the main roster. Oh, they will. Okay, as we've seen with Neville and others, even Kevin Steen right now when he reached the main roster, they are highly guarded. They are highly regarded as great talent, but they're highly guarded by higher-ups like Triple H, and I'm pretty sure they'll get the time they need. Things are going to start changing. No more piss breaks for the female wrestlers when these girls get to the main roster. All right, I've held it off long enough. Let's talk about the main event and what took place afterwards. NXT World Championship match. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, number 2. From the gate, right off the bat, these two brawled, and they went all over the place. We got Kimura suplex, Blue Thunder Bomb, freaking T-bones into freaking steel posts and, steel steps, clotheslines. It's just brutal stuff. They went all over the arena, into the crowd, on the barricade, and, it was high energy, man. And then Kevin Owens hits his pump-up powerbomb on the apron. Sami Zayn was done. He's on the outside. Referees crowd him. But Kevin Owens was not done. Beats him down. Beats him up. Kicks him. Punches him. It's unrelenting. Just come out. The match is stopped. He just stops the match. And then he just wouldn't stop. Just kept on beating him up and was going to powerbomb him. And then freaking William Regal comes out. Really, he just comes out. If you powerbomb him, if you do anything to him, I will take away your match from John Cena. Headbutts William Regal. He doesn't care. He hates Sami Zayn so much. He was going to sacrifice his match against John Cena. He didn't care. I don't think that's something away from him, but he didn't care. So Sami Zayn is down. He's out. Kevin Owens is still not done. He goes and gets a steel freaking chair. Gets inside the ring. And before he can use it, although he used it a little bit, like he dropped it on Sami Zayn, but it wasn't a hit, we hear this music. And next thing we know, everyone turns to the stage, and freaking Samoa Joe comes out. And I was like, Samoa Joe! I lost it. And even though I suspected him to debut, it's just like, I still did not expect him to debut. He did. And I'm just like, oh my God, Samoa Joe is on NXT. Gets inside the ring. The crowd went nuts. Everybody goes nuts. Joe is gonna kill you. And I'm just sitting there going, we have a match right now that could sell out any WWE pay-per-view. I have never seen a Samoa Joe versus Kevin Owens match. Never. It most likely has happened, Samoa Joe versus Kevin Steen. If it has, let me know down below. I'll go watch that match right now. And I might not even watch the match. But they have a money-making match right here. Samoa Joe versus Kevin freaking Owens. First time ever. Never been done before from my point of view. Let me know down below, please. But Jesus Christ. And, of course, Kevin Owens goes away because he's a heel. But he then comes back out to really get in his face. It wasn't like he was running away because he's scared. He's backing away because he's smart. More like, I would attack you right now, but this is not the best time to do it because I know you kick my ass. It's one of those things. But, just the tension between them, man, on a first time meeting. Holy crap. Whenever they do it, it most likely will happen at the next special. I don't know. But whenever they do Samoa Joe versus Kevin freaking Owens, you will have my money. You can put that on pay-per-view. I will pay the $50 to see Samoa Joe versus Kevin freaking Owens. My God. It's not end with a winner. No contest. Here's my thing. Some of you might be disappointed in that. I personally think it was smart. I kind of want Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to end their feud on the main roster. Don't you? Why not ending it here on NXT, let it continue to the main roster? They have a reason to continue feuding. Carry over what they did on NXT and let it progress to that main roster. Why not? And here's the thing. I love this too. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, their matches have not ended in a KO or a stoppage or a no contest. So their feud is. That type of stuff makes matches matter. That type of stuff makes superstars. Okay? That's unique. Name me one match in WWE that ended in KO or stoppage. No. Okay? So when they actually do have a match and we actually do have a legit victory from either Kevin Owens and Kevin Steen, it's going to be huge. They might have to do a no DQ match from now on. If they do another match, it will be a no DQ match. That's for sure. That is for certain. But man, this was a great show. This is what a wrestling show should be like. This is what WWE should strive to be like. And how can fans watch this show and then go back and watch Payback and think Payback was a great show? What is this show? Is this show like, oh my God? I can't imagine what this show is. Man, what a show. It was a great show. I gotta read your comments before I get out of here. Let me spend the next 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes, but let me just take a second to calm down, bring it down a notch. But just to read what you guys have to say on this show. This is not like a Q&A or anything like that, but I am checking to see who's here and to acknowledge that my fans do matter. Ellis Watson, not even Lesnar in a match via KO since coming back. That's saying something, isn't it? Isn't that saying something? I've said this before. I think Kevin Owens is pretty much Brock Lesnar, but with a brain. That's exactly what I see Kevin Owens is. Think about that. He's Brock Lesnar with a brain. Think about how dangerous you have to be Brock Lesnar with a brain. Jesus. I am Mike Ashman. In my opinion, I think this would have been Kenta's night to shine if he was not injured. Yeah, man, I'm so sad that Hideo got injured, man. This would have been his night. I think he was going to be the next #1 contender. Think about that. Man, Hideo Itami versus Kevin freaking Owens. Jesus Christ. I have to wait for that now. I have to wait for that. I can wait since we have Samoa Joe, but Jesus, man. Oh, man. Let's see. Jay Hennix. It never happened on tape, but I think a live show with Steen was young and fresh. So what you're saying is Joe and Owens never happened, even as Steen. WWE has a gold mine here, man. Keith Austin. Now WWE needs to bring in AJ Styles. They might have to, sooner or later. At this point in time, man, they got Samoa Joe. They got Kevin Steen. They got freaking El Generico. They got Bryan Danielson. They had CM Punk. The only person that's left that came from that bunch, the only two people that are left that came from that bunch are Austin Aries and AJ Styles. They need to get them sooner or later. I mean, they had Chris Hero, but that didn't work out. They should bring him back as well. That sucks, man. Super Devlin 69. Samoa Joe versus Kevin freaking Owens needs to happen at WrestleMania 32. It should. It's that good. It really should. My reaction to Samoa Joe, you just saw it. It was amazing. The NXT women will bring back women's title. Yeah, they should. If we bring up Charlotte and all them, bring back the women's championship. Kill the Divas championship. That needs to go. That represents every bad moment the Divas have been through over the last 5 years. I'm going to say even 7, 8 years. There is no excuse why these female wrestlers should be having not as good of a match as these girls should have, other than they're on NXT. That's a shame. Okay, let me get one more comment. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Jasmine Robinson. 1 hour episodes sound much more refreshing than 3 hour shows. And this is why. And it's not fair. It isn't fair, man. NXT has the advantage of remaining fresh and keeping an idea or keeping that feeling of, all right, every time I see something, it feels fresh because I don't see it a lot. It still has some substance to it because it's not being shoved in our faces for 3 hours every single week on Raw and SmackDown by them together. It's 1 hour each week. And not everybody gets to be on shows when it's 1 hour each week. So you only get to see them twice a month, if that. So, you know what? It isn't fair. NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown, but not because of them just having a better show and better booking and better talent and just better matches altogether. By principle, NXT is destined to be better than the main roster. It just is. And maybe this is an indication that WWE just needs to scale back. I think it's time we go away from 3-hour Raws. It might be time to scale back. And it might be time to scale back on these pay-per-views as well. 13 pay-per-views each year. That's too much. All right. Less is more. Ladies and gentlemen. With that said, thank you for watching. I will see you for my next video, whatever it is, whenever it is. I look forward to reading all the rest of your comments. But I'm ending this broadcast. This is your boy, the Lex Man, signing off.